talking to yourself.
Hey y'all,
Okay.
subscribe.
So on Friday, we talked about parallel and perpendicular lines and their slopes. And what form is this equation, this line written in? Standard. And how do we find, on Friday we talked about how to find the slope of a line in standard form. Do you guys remember how we did it? Negative a over b. Okay, there's two ways to do it. You could solve for y, get y by itself, so that it's in slope-intercept form, and then the number in front of the x is the slope. So we could do this, minus 5x and then divide by negative 1. Okay, and then that 5 would be the slope. Yes?
Did you take off 31 through 34?
Yeah, well that's today, yes. That's actually today's assignment, though, not Friday's.
So it's still 31.
Okay, no, we are only going to go to 30 instead because I want to move on. But I will still make this assignment due tomorrow, like it was originally going to be. But we're only going to 30 now.
Oh, so it's due tomorrow?
Yes.
And okay, I forgot at home. So
On Friday, I told you guys we would go to 34, but we'll finish it on Monday.
So is this one going to be due tomorrow?
This one is also due tomorrow. I'm sorry about that, but we really need to get done by Friday, the test. Yeah,
Oh, okay. Do you want me to turn?
Test on Friday. Just turn it in with today's. Or just turn it in sometime, yeah. So, yeah, the other way, the easier way to find the slope, Issa said, was just negative a over b. That's the slope of a line in standard form. What's a and b?
X and Y.
Yeah, a is 5, it's the x coefficient, and b is negative 1. So it's negative 5 over negative 1, which is just 5. Okay, what would the slope of a line parallel to this line be?
Negative Y?
What would this, how do lines,
That's just the same, right?
yeah, how do lines with parallel slopes, how are those slopes related?
They're the same.
If lines are parallel, yeah, the slopes are the same. You go rise and run, rise and run. They're the same on both lines. So if this line has a slope of 5, a line that's parallel to it has a slope of 5. That always confuses people for some reason. But how about perpendicular? What would a line that's perpendicular to this line, what would its slope be?
Negative 1 over 3.
Negative 1 over 5, yeah.
Oh,
This is 5 over 1 right now. So you flip it upside down and you make it opposite. So negative 1/3. Opposite reciprocal. All right, that's just a reminder of what we did on Friday. So on today's, we're on page 271.
I have a question. Do you mind if I go over the paper? We're not going to grade them?
No, it's due tomorrow.
Or should just throw it over the paper?
That's
Oh, okay. Or is this not related to paper?
Okay, this will be new for you guys. Well, partially. Most of it you've done before.
Oh.
Okay, do you guys remember how to graph y equals 2x minus 1?
Two.
That's not where we start though.
Negative 1.
Okay, you start at negative 1, you go down 1. This is not number 1, this is just a.
Oh.
You go down 1 and put a dot,
And then
and then your slope is 2 or 2 or 1. You rise 2 and run 1. Rise 2, run 1, dot. Rise 2, run 1, dot. Or you can go backwards, down 2, back 1. All in the same line. Okay, that's what we've done in the past. Today we are doing something more like this. Y is greater than or equal to 2x minus 1. It doesn't really change the problem that much though. Okay, if it says y is greater than, then the answer is actually going to be all this stuff. So I I shaded above the line. Y is greater than, so you shade greater than the line above the line.
Well, so if
Okay,
it's less than-
why did yes, if it's less than, it'll be below the line. Okay, what does all this shading mean on this problem?
Like that's what it could be, like
What?
that's what it could be like this area.
Yes, I think you might be on the right track. That means any answer I choose, let me choose a random point in this shaded area. This point has an x and a y value that are a solution for this problem. So this whole, normally it's just the points on the line that are a solution for the problem, if it's an equation. But with an inequality, it's everything on this side of the line is an answer. So, for example, this is -3, 1. It's just a random point I chose. If I plug in -3 and 1, that's my x and my y value, it'll make a true statement. It'll work. So 2 times -3 is -6, minus 1 is -7, and 1 is over here. Is 1 greater than or equal to -7? Yes. So that's a solution. Any point over here, you can choose any random point. How about a point on the line? Would this be a solution?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is 0, -1. If I plug that in, I get 2 times 0 minus 1, which is -1. And I plug in -1 for the y, -1. Is -1 greater than or equal to -1?
Yes.
Yeah, that's true. What if it was just this? Is that true? Is -1 greater than -1? No. So, what does that mean? What if it had just said y is greater than 2x minus 1 instead of greater than or equal to? Well, if it's not equals to,
Then it's a dotted line.
all these points on the line wouldn't actually work. Because it'd be like this. -1 is not greater than -1. It's not equal. Anyways, so how do we show that all the points on the line aren't part of my answer?
Open circle.
A dashed line. Well, you can't draw an open circle in this case because the whole line has to be open circle, and that you just can't do that. So yeah, what they did is they said we just make the line dashed or dotted or whatever. So that was a good guess. Or have you done this before?
No, it just said.
Oh, you read it in the book. So it would look more like this. You make a dashed line and then you still shade everything over here. That's it. So really just the shading is new. Well, the dashed or not dashed, that's new too. But it's not that much is new. Okay, so if it's greater than or equal to or less than or equal to, the line is solid. If it's greater than or less than, the line is dashed. Okay, because the line is not part of the answer in that case. All right, you guys ready? We're not graphing until number 17, so I'll pass out some graph paper. A lot. There's like 10 or something.
Oh, solid or dashed or so.
Okay, yeah, number 1 through 4 is really quick. You guys ready? Is number 1 solid? If we graph the line, would it be solid or dashed?
Solid.
Solid. Because it says greater than or equals to, not just greater than. Number 3, would that line be solid or dashed?
Dash.
Because it does not say or equals to, it just says greater than. Okay, number 5, determine which order pairs are solutions to the given inequality. Okay, on this section, it could be a few of them work, it could be just one of them works. You gotta kind of check all of them. So, how do I know if A, 0, 0 is a solution for the inequality? You plug it in. If it makes a true statement, A is one of the answers. If it does not make a true statement, we're just not gonna put A down. But, okay. So if I plug in 0, 0, remember the first value is actually the x value, right? So, although both of them are 0 in this case. 2 times 0 minus 9. What is 2 times 0 minus 9? Okay, is 0 less than negative 9? If you get confused with the negatives, a lot of people do, would you rather have $0 or negative $9? 0. So the mouth wants to eat the bigger one, so it should be going this way. So that's not true. So A, 0, 0 is not part of the answer. B, 4, 7. So the 7 is actually the y value, so that should go right there. And the 4 is the x value, so it should go right there.
Negative 1.
Okay, 2 times 4 minus 9
Negative 1.
is 7 less than negative 1?
No.
No. So B is not an answer either. What else? Negative 2, negative 13. So negative 13 less than 2 times, what was it, negative 3? Negative 2? Negative 2 minus 9. Do that. What's 2 times negative 2? Negative 4 minus 9 is negative 13 less than negative 13. What could make this true? What's that equal to? But it doesn't, so C is not an answer. So guess what? It's going to be an answer. If I plug in 3, negative 5, I get negative 5 less than 2 times 3 minus 9. What's 2 times 3 minus 9?
6.
Negative 3. Is negative 5 less than negative 3?
Yes.
Yeah, you'd rather have negative $3 than negative $5.
You're still in debt though.
You're still in debt. So that last one is true. So number 5 is just D. Number 7, 2x minus 5y.
Mr. Jordan,
Yeah.
can you go back up a little bit on that one?
I was just plugging stuff in.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, number 7 is 2x minus 5y greater than 1. So it's kind of in standard form, but you do the same thing. I'm supposed to plug in k, 0, 0. What's 2 times 0 minus 5 times 0?
Nothing.
0. Is 0 greater than 1? No. So k is not an answer. L is 2 times 3 minus 5 times 1. Is that greater than 1? 2 times 3 is 6. 5 times 1 is 5. That's 1. Is 1 greater than 1? No. L is not an answer.
I was a loser.
You're the loser.
Okay.
Stop.
Number 7. 2 times negative 2 minus 5 times negative 5.
Do you have photographic memory? I never remember that.
I don't know. I think if I hear it, I remember it. So that's why I'm saying it out loud.
Negative 4.
Negative 4. This one might trick people because all the negatives. This is 5 times negative 5, which is negative 25. But you're minusing that, so it's actually more like plus 25.
So that one. 21.
21 is greater than 1. Yeah, that was M.
Yes.
Yeah.
So M is one of the answers. See if the last one works. Negative 7, 3. So 2 times negative 7 minus 5 times 0. Shannon's not a believer. This would be negative 14 minus 50. What's negative 14 minus 15?
Negative 1.
Negative 29.
Stupid.
Is that greater than 1?
No.
No. So just M on this one. I will tell you on the evens that there's like 2 or 3 answers on both of the evens. You guys got that? So don't just find one answer and say, oh, that's it, we're done. So on the evens, there are 2 or 3 answers.
The minimum is 2, or could they?
Yeah, like one of them has 2, one of them has 3.
Wow.
Whoops, okay. Then we're jumping to number 13, right? Yeah, 13.
I feel like I'm gonna cry. We have to do this.
Okay, on 13, shh, girl. If you look at all those graphs, they all have the same y-intercept and they all have the same slope. You guys see that?
Got it.
So we're not really looking at the y-intercept and slope. What's different on all four of those graphs, A, B, C, and D, is that they have, some of them are solid and some of them are dashed lines, and some of them are shaded above and some of them are shaded below. Okay, so on 13 it says y is greater than. Would that be, that'd be a dashed line, so B or C. If it's y is greater than, would it be shaded above or below? Above.
B.
B.
Be mine. Okay.
So 13 is something.
Yes.
I
Okay,
say the greatest thing.
on 15 it's y is less than or equals to. So would that be a solid or dash? Solid. So that's A or D. If it's y is less than, are we shading below or above? Below. So that is solid and below is A.
In my head. Oh, not my neck.
Okay, 17. I'm guessing we forgot how to graph x equals -4. Does anybody remember how to graph x equals -4?
Y is 0.
No?
Go to the
Why?
-4 on the graph. Look left.
You go to -4 on the x-axis,
Yeah, it's in the.
and then you draw
A dot.
a horizontal
Oh,
or
wait.
vertical line. Okay, if it's
Oh.
just x equals -4. Now this says x is less than -4. But normally x equals -4, you go to -4 on the x-axis and draw a vertical line.
Yeah.
Okay, this though says x is less than -4. So should I draw a solid or dashed line? Dash. So
Oh.
still has arrows on it.
Oh, shoot, we're there.
Now, yeah, we are graphing.
No.
This looks funky.
Why are you
Okay.
saying it?
Do you guys, I forgot to ask, you guys want colored pencils or anything to shade?
Oh, it's a shade.
We're gonna do it.
I thought we were just gonna shade with our pencils.
Yeah, that's fine, you can do that. You can also use colored pencils. Okay, now before I was saying above or below, if it's just a vertical line, there really isn't above or below, there's just a left and a right. So if it says x is less than,
Left side.
guess which side we're gonna shade?
Left side.
Left side, because all the numbers less than -4, all the x values less than -4 are to the left.
This is funny. Funny.
So 18, it says y is greater than or equal to 5. So that's kind of like the opposite of 17. What's y equals 5 look like?
Opposite.
Solid. Oh,
It
it's
would-
to the side.
Yeah, you go up to 5 on the y-axis
side left?
and draw a horizontal line. Yeah, it would be solid in that case.
On the same graph?
No. All these graphs should be different.
You have to make 12 now.
Yeah. Don't make them gigantic. I mean, you can use the front and back. Okay, 19 was somewhere a little more used to. Y is greater than 3x plus 2. So where do I start off graphing this? Whoops. Graphing this one. I start at the, where do I start at? Up 2, right? So on the y, at the y-intercept, go up to 2 and put it out there. And then where do I go from there?
3/1.
Slope is 3/1, so I'm gonna rise 3 and run 1. Rise 3, run 1. They're both positive. Or I guess you could do both negative and go backwards. Go down 3 and back 1, and you're still in the same line.
Hold on, what was it
rise, so I start up at 2 on the y-axis, and I went rise 3, run 1. Remember slope is rise over run.
It's like till I like someone like.
Rise 3, run 1. Then I went backwards, I fell 3 and went this.
It's like a command of rise, you three, run. One.
Okay, should this line be solid or dashed? Dashed. So hopefully you didn't draw a solid already. If you did, you have to go back and erase it.
That would be a good one.
Alright, it says y is greater than, so what side should I shade?
Or right. Or wait.
Well, think of it more as above and below. If you get confused, just pretend this is a roof on a house. So which side is above the roof?
The other side's like.
So it says shading.
Okay, this smart board's not really great for shading, so you guys can just,
5 minutes of shading with Mr. Brooks.
yeah, it'll take me 5 minutes to fill that in. I wonder how thick I can make the marker.
Get it? That's not funny.
Let's see it.
Maybe this will work.
Whoa. Oh my gosh.
It's like a blackout.
That is chunky.
I call this one a.
Oh my gosh. We need some
You know what?
we need some civil rights act.
Filling in all the crevices.
Hey, wait.
That's so thick, my guy. Oh my
Hey,
god.
yo. Look, your face even turning red.
That's so thin.
Peppa Pig is pink, stupid.
Okay, number
Like pleasure.
21. Uh-oh, 21.
Flesh
Shh.
right now.
Alright, girls. It says 2x minus 1, or minus y. Oh, this doesn't look right. It's equal less than or equal to 4. How do I graph that? Well, it's in standard form, so normally what we do is change it to slope-intercept form, right? How do I change that to slope-intercept form? Get y by itself. How do I get, so it looks like this. How do I get y by itself? Get rid of the 2x first. We've done this. Subtract 2x. I'm not going to put 4 minus 2x. I'm going to put minus 2x plus 4. Okay, how do I get rid of the negative in front of the y?
You divide by one.
Divide by
One.
negative 1.
Negative one.
What happens when you divide by negative 1?
Makes it positive.
Okay, this becomes a positive y. This becomes
Positive turn equals
2x. This becomes
negative.
negative. All the signs switch, but also when you multiply or divide an inequality by negative, the inequality also switches. So this becomes a y is greater than or equal to problem. So dividing by negative 1 or multiplying by negative 1 switches all the signs and it switches the inequality symbol. Alright, where do I start at on the graph?
Negative 4.
Start down 4. Then where do I go from there?
2 rise, 1 run.
Rise 2, run 1. Rise over run. Rise 2. Just make at least 3 dots. It's good. Should this line be solid or dashed?
Solid, just like a rock.
It's the way you are.
It's about trying. It's about power.
Okay.
I've seen that show.
It says y is greater than or equal to, should I shade above or below the line?
Below.
Above.
Greater than is above the line. So we're going up again.
Why they say below when it's Have you guys seen the Wayne Johnson rap?
Yeah. Nobody has it.
Dude, I saw it like yesterday. So what?
Granted,
Yes, no, what?
granted.
What?
I don't know why. Halfway through the song, he's just like, they just have like a shot. They don't
Okay,
even understand.
23.
Wait, the reason is obviously it's all
Okay,
right.
23, same problem, it's in standard form, how do I graph it? Get y by itself, so it's in slope-intercept form. How do I do that? Minus vx. So this becomes y is greater than minus x minus 2. Negative x minus 2. Where do I start at on the graph?
-2,
Negative
Down to, that's the y-intercept. Where do I go from there? What's the slope on this one?
Down
-1 or -1 over 1. So I'm going to rise -1 and I'm going to run +1. So rise -1, run +1, like that. Or I could have put the negative on the bottom, then it would be rise 1, run -1. Which would be basically go backwards, but you're on the same line. Okay, should this line be solid or dashed?
Oh my gosh, why do you say solid? It was always
Huh?
rise and run thing.
Okay, it just said negative x, which means there's a 1 right there.
Yeah.
And then to turn that into a fraction, you just put it over 1. So I did rise -1 and run +1. So I went rise -1. Negative's like going down, right? So you go, if the rise is -1, you actually go down. Rise -1, run +1.
Did we color that one or like shade it?
Oh, I forgot, yeah. Okay,
No, not on the wrong one.
okay, this one says y is greater than, so where should I shade? Above, they've all said greater than so far. Which probably means most of the evens are gonna be less than.
Oh, yes. Now? No.
No.
Okay, what is it about?
What if it's not about that?
Then it's about how many.
What if it's not food? What if
If it's greater than, you go greater than the line, which means above the line.
It's about run. It's about power.
No, it's about what?
It's about fossil fuels.
Okay, 25, x plus 3y is less than 12. Less than or equal to 12. Alright, what should I do first? Eli, subtract the x, right, we're trying to get y by itself first. So we get 3y less than or equal to, I'm not going to put 12 minus x, minus x plus 12.
Oh no, my graph isn't that big.
Divide by 3.
Oh. Let's write down.
Okay, so those 3's go away. You guys remember, how did we write negative x over 3? What's another way of writing this? Right, negative 1/3 x. You can kind of take the x out of the fraction and put it on the side. Plus, what's 12 divided by 3? 4. Okay, where should we start at on this graph? Up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Where should I go from there? Okay, if it's a negative, I usually think of the negative as being on top, although if you put it on bottom, that would also work. So I'm gonna rise -1 and run 3. So I'm gonna rise -1 and run 3. I could do that again, or I could go backwards. I could rise +1 and run -3. Should this line be solid or dashed? Solid.
Oh, shoot.
Okay, this one says y is less than or equal to. So should I shade below or above?
Below.
Below.
Hold on, there's a low one.
The first below line, yeah.
Where's your door? Your favorite class?
Absolutely.
Obviously.
Who's your favorite student? Issa, don't even.
We have
I
zero.
know it's not you.
We have zero competition.
It's definitely me.
No.
There's no competition, guys. You guys are so
No, it's Shannon.
Oh.
And it's your mom.
guys. It's obviously Eli because
Because he's a redhead.
I was gonna say because he's British. Correct.
I think almost.
Also, by the way, apparently I'm also not from the Netherlands. My mom told me this. I'm from Wales. I'm not even
Great.
joking.
Bro, the story of Jones. bro.
That's great, but I don't remember
Yeah.
asking.
My
Literally across the room,
ancestors
he's
died.
Shh. All right,
It's yours.
27. We're almost done here.
They're both same.
Okay, 27 looks weird. Does anybody? Does anybody? Shh. Hey, guys. Does anybody have an idea how we could? What could we do about 27? Divide by 3. What happens if I divide by 3?
It's 7/3. Why is, yeah,
Okay. So this is basically a y equals graph. Just like number 18. How did we say you graph a y equals graph?
Find the
Horizontal
line
line.
into the, whatever that.
Horizontal line,
Horizontal.
like the horizon. So since we're gonna have to do that, let's what's this as a mixed number? How many times 3 go into 7?
2.
2 with the remainder of.
1/3.
Okay, so I'm gonna go up to 2 1/3 on the y-axis and draw a horizontal line. So 2, I think I accidentally put 1/7 in the other class. Anyway, 2 1/3 is about right there, right? So, oh, I forgot. Is this line supposed to be solid or dashed?
Shoot.
Dashed. Kind of missed. This says y is less than, so should I shade above or below?
So much shade.
So much shade. You're gonna lose a lot of pencil. You're gonna lose a lot of pencil on this assignment.
The only thing I
If
know
you
my
have a
shade
number
is
2,
your
this
They
Hi.
are all
You gotta actually refill it. I just get a new pencil.
imagine
Oh yeah, by the way,
All you gotta do is switch.
my ancestors couldn't.
But then you have
swim.
to buy it.
Yeah, but if you have mechanical, your lead's probably really fine.
Hey, for
Yeah, exactly.
You can't shade it well.
Dr.
Fine
Judith's
lead.
merch, Evil Incorporated, asks you to return the illuminator to the front office.
Okay, 29 is not a graph. It asks us to write a linear inequality to describe the graph. So let's start with the first part. So I notice that it's shaded below the line on 29. So should that be a less than or a greater than?
Less than or equal to.
Okay, the line is solid on 29, so should that be an equal to or not?
Yes.
Equal to. So y is less than or equal to.
We're getting many blues clues here.
All right, So normally what comes next on this is the slope, right? So let's go ahead and find the slope next. So where are 2 points on the graph that it is crossing?
Negative 1, positive 3.
0, negative 3,
I meant that.
and
Oh, I did it.
what was the other one? 3, negative 1?
Oh wait, are we graphing this?
No. Okay, we're trying to find the slope. So what's the rise and the run between those 2 points? So the slope is 2/3. So back here, we're gonna put 2/3 x. And then what do we need next?
The y-intercept.
Y-intercept. Where is it crossing the y-axis at?
-3.
-3.
So it's minus 3.
Oh, not that.
What about back switching? Scratching back?
Okay, now we're done. Alright, both Friday's assignment from before break and this are due tomorrow. Sorry that might be a lot if you didn't do any of the last assignment,
My
but
family is crying.
That sounds good.
Wow.
But I
No.
didn't